Oh boy. It's April 18th. The lady that wanted to buy the bike that my not-for-profit society owns didn't show up for a Skype appointment, so I didn't want to sell it anyways. The reason I don't want to sell it is I can't find buyers for any bike that I could use as a replacement. So I was gonna book a plane ticket right after, and my card was declined, so there's maybe not enough money in it. Maybe tomorrow there will be, and maybe that same flight will be available, which will be in about 4 weeks. And hopefully the weather will be better than this, but I'll just bring one. I'll bring a backpack with my helmet and just my one big one-piece suit. And that should be something I just change the layers inside if it's too warm or too cold. And hopefully they won't charge me for a checked bag with that backpack. And I mean, that bike is 25 years old. You can put collector's plates on it. It can have Territory Z. And I know the bike, and I've taken good care of it, and I could fix more things on it. And it's not off-roadish that much, so maybe I could one day buy a little off-roadish. If I sold the bike, you know, it's almost like I've associated selling this bike with giving up on BC for the not-for-profit society idea. But there's actually an employer now that supposedly is looking for an executive director for something that'd be a good fit for me to give this program. And it's part-time, so that means I could give the program part-time as well for the first year as a pilot project, and maybe make it a bit more summer and then a bit more year-round after the year after that. Because really, I mean, this pilot project for my not-for-profit society is really my ideal work and my ideal destiny, legacy, and joy of work. And you know, I shouldn't give up on it too easily. And I don't know where I'm going to be. I don't know if I'm going to stay in this campground, and but I have to buy this ticket because I'm just tired of fooling around. There's horrible abilities to travel in Canada by bus. There's no trains really, and there's also overpriced plane tickets that still operate with the same model for how to do things, which make them never want to reduce their prices because they're just flawed in the way they create these flights and these ways to book these prices on different dates, and to go there first, like to fly over where you want to go, wait hours somewhere else, and fly back to where you're going to land. It's Canada is an underdeveloped country when it comes to common sense of using its infrastructure. And of course, all countries are like this because all countries are infested with the Homo communia. But, you know, riding that bike in all the places in the northern or internal or central part of BC that I've never been will be therapeutic, even if I'm not off-road. And so, you know, I'm going to keep that bike because if I put collector's plates on it and never really use it for work or play, work or school, which I can just get a smaller dual-purpose bike to do, and I can even keep it with relatives in Quebec if I ever go down there for my court case with Territory Z, and it'll be my transportation there. And, you know, with the collector's plates that are much less expensive, is I can afford because it's already paid, and I don't have to pay tax on another one to replace it just to avoid doing the trip. It's really about the trip to get it, because I couldn't carry it with this motorhome. And maybe if I bring it to Quebec, it'd be a time where my father would sell his motorhome, and I could bring it back on the motorhome that could carry the motorcycle, and sell this one here. And by the way, this could be, who is this Martin Barizo? Do you know that this week is the 1-year anniversary? Like it's also the 2-year anniversary of me owning the Musicho here, this mobile closet that I live in. that still has a lot. I still did a lot of troubleshooting to figure out how to fix things today, and of course didn't make a lot of progress, except just, okay, that's not it, that's not it, that's not it. So there's still a lot of expenses coming that way for this motorhome. But aside from 2 years owning it since Earth Day 2 years ago, it's the 1 year that I've lived only inside here, including an entire winter, and some definitely colder winters than the west coast, Vancouver Island. Although I think their winter was worse than usual, but not as long as it is in these parts here. So 1 year of living in this mobile closet and not going crazy with my sense of humor and my problem-solving skills and my comfort zone in being alone. I mean, it's nice that I watch movies now with my library card and from a DVD player, and it's nice that this camera gun is the fuse didn't blow and the power didn't go out. But it's still not a sense of community that I'm getting here. I was appreciated yesterday by a Korean family near the end of Badminton, and I asked them for help to pronounce properly the Korean song that I want to sing and record, so they might follow up with that. And I have to admit that when I went to Vancouver Island for the first time in BC 20 years ago, I was too tired to turn around. Even though what I realized on the island was people are the same. There's no grass is greener already. I knew that, and I still knew also that I had to do my own journey of personal development by getting away from the toxicity of where I was in the National Capital Region and who my my environmental contacts were, my surroundings, my network, relatives, employers, acquaintances. There was nothing really for me that was going to lead to a happy or a self-actualizing life that also is making me happy when I grow as a person. And so I challenged myself to come survive on Vancouver Island, and I did, and I knew I was there for long term, so I was setting roots as much as possible. And in the last year in the motorhome, the longest I've been one place is 8 months, and I really didn't want to be there that long. It's just my resources didn't allow me to leave. And it's not that I wasn't employable, or it's not that I'm an overconsumer. I spend too much. That's not it at all, as you will know from watching my vlogs. But here, I think it's time for me to set roots and prove to myself again that if a place has enough opportunities, there are some that will fit for me, or that are areas where I can create the opportunities I want. I know myself. I'm not starting from scratch, but I also know that I won't make the compromises I did 20 years ago when I had to better myself, to be at the mercy of what people were suggesting. Now I know myself well, and I know that I'm not going to sell myself short, with employers that I know with the red flags are not a good fit, or I am willing to stay in jobs that are unpleasant or hard at the beginning without the red flags of not being a good fit, or with red flags that are on the way to, being repaired as situations, but those are rare. Usually it's red flags that don't shift, or it's it's me being self-employed again, and I do have ideas for that. So there's two employers there that I'm really supposed to get the job, really. I mean, one, I was the only applicant, and the other is I'm pretty much a perfect fit. Now, it could be that there's other people that they already knew was going to take over that role that have been associated with that organization a long time, but there's a lot of older people that maybe want to retire a bit. But also the lady that referred me to that job, she did it because probably she knows I'm a good fit, and there's not a lot of other options. So I have to be patient with those things, and if I book that plane ticket, then it's something to look forward to get my bike and do the trip, which will be maybe one night in a hotel, one night at the buddy's house that's going to pick me up at the airport, and then drive me there next day, and taking my time. And just to, be away from here for a while as a break to come back here and keep setting roots and keep being patient and keep building the opportunities, even if it's the ones that I have to create myself because they're not a perfect fit for me already in such a community. Trying to turn this off. Still recording. The phone has done this when it's been cold. It's not really cold inside here. But I can't even press pause right now. So I thought it was only the screen display that was faulty. So sometimes when I press the side button, it works. It saves it. I'll try it.